It's a 98 Mercury Grand Marquis. So I got to doing the rear brakes on here and noticed that there was a lot of remnants of grease on the shield here for the rear brakes. And despite having a normally worn down pad in the front, the rear pad on the piston had grease on it and it wasn't worn out, which is an indication that there's grease obviously serving its purpose, which making the clamping abilities to stop this car and the friction inefficient. And I did clean it off, so grease from the rear end here is getting on the rotor and it's not causing the car to stop optimally. So this car is going to get some rear, well, let's get one rear seal. The other side is done brake wise, which didn't have any indication of a leaking seal. So we're just going to take care of this rear right side on this 98. Let's take that out so I don't lose it. So I already got the rotor off, which is very simple, no big deal. And I'm pretty sure thousands of people have done thousands of these. So these are not complicated. You don't have to take any brake caliper mounting bracket. You just simply remove the caliper, and the brake caliper mounting bracket is fixed on the axle here, it looks like. No, it's not. There's some bolts back there, but you don't have to remove this caliper mounting bracket. So I'm going to cut right into it. I'm not going to sit here and talk. It's pretty much cut and dry. I'm going to remove the rear housing for the hog head and remove the retaining clip for the axle. I should be able to pull it out. Now, I've never done a Ford, so I've done a Chevy. You know, this is not my era. I'm only 34, so these old school rear end vehicles are not in my demographic here. These are not common, so I can't imagine being like a Chevy, any other like any other. So we're gonna jump right into it, and I'll figure that out when I get to it. I don't think I gotta look up tear down procedures or anything. I mean, it should be pretty much self-explanatory. But labor time on this is supposed to be 1.6 hours for my time. I'm not dealer. I'm just the guy that works on vehicles. But that's going to be labor time to do this. So I just simply use a 10 millimeter, get the caliber off, and I'm pretty sure it's probably a 13 over to get the cover off, the oil cover for that hog head there. I'm not sure if we can see the bottom, but I got a 13 millimeter here. Uh-oh. Let's break these loose. I got a pan sitting under here. I took some brake cleaner and some clean rags and went around it, cleaned it up a little bit. The outside. Alright, without, probably might need to use a flathead. Let's see how effective this is. Oh, the gear will look real clean actually. I mean, the car looked like it was well maintained. I mean, it sat for 4 years from what he told me. We're still getting all new oil, fresh oil and everything in there. This car does have 200,000 miles if I recall properly. They didn't have that much in there. This car is supposed to hold a quart, 1.9 quarts when I was told from O'Reilly's. So I got 2 quarts there. And probably is partly due because of how I got the vehicle positioned. For the side I'm replacing is raised up higher. Here's the inside of the pan. so it doesn't look bad at all. I'm personal preference, I'm just using gray glue. I'm not using the black that was on here before. Alright, I got the car in neutral. I should be able to rotate this planetary gear set. Nope, I'm gonna have to, there you go. Alright, so I'm likely gonna have to remove that lock pin that's in the center there, and then I'll be able to, when I drop that, bring the axle forward, remove that clip, pull it forward, move the clip, and then I'll be able to push the axle out. So there you go, right there. I need to pull that out. It should be an 8mm. Alright, got a ratchet wrench. Let me see if this will work out. Wish me luck. I'm not even, there you go. There you go. Should be a lengthy bolt. This screw goes all the way. What do they call this? Like a lock pin or something? It should go all the way through that lock pin itself. Maybe it's considered a set screw. It does set it in place, right? Alright. Alright, I'm gonna have to move this a little bit. And it should just fall right out. This is a very precise pin. It should just fall right on down. I'm trying to do the least amount of movement as possible, but I think it might not even work out that way. Yeah, let me pull it up. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of finagling. I'm gonna have to pull it all the way out. So here, here's the set screw here. There's a little hole, and it just goes right in there and locks it in place. Alright, so I know those gears are going to move around in this basket here. So I want to show you what it looks like. You can move around a little bit so they'll stay in place. Alright. Now that lock pin should be right in there. I'm going to push the axle forward. There's our lock pin right there. Should just come right on out. There you go. Should just be able to simply take this out like so. Alright. Our seal. And it is definitely worn. And now I'm just inspecting the actual axle. I want to inspect the actual axle here and make sure there's no groove that developed, because strangely, rubber will produce a recess inside of metal. I'm riding on it too long. contact point is pretty sharp. Now I got one from O'Reilly's that has a dust cover. This one doesn't, and I might have to take the one I got back and get the appropriate one. So let's just go match those up. Alright, I in fact do have the incorrect one because this one has a dust cover on it, and so I'm going to have to run back to the parts store and get the appropriate one. So I took the retaining spring for the brake here out, and I managed to just get a flat head behind it, and that's why we got that little gouge there. It's not going to hurt anything. Just knocked it down to the point where I can get behind it and move it out. So if you knock it in, it'll shorten the diameter to where it'll just pull out simply. But the bore is not scoring or anything, so I'm fine. I'm gonna go over to the parts store and get a new seal. Alright, got my new seal here. It's just a cheap old Master Pro, and I slid it on the axle. It works fine. I'm not gonna think nothing of it. So I'm just gonna get this nut knocked in here, and we'll be good to go, because it's gonna rain on this side of town. So what if I put it in backwards? Oh, that would be embarrassing. So she is even. Like I said, I had to, when I took the seal out from the top, it gouged a little bit, but that's not going to hurt anything. I don't know, you probably didn't see the back, but it had a rubber grommet around there. So I think we'll be good to go. This is flat. Looks flush. I just got some old wheel bearing grease. It'll hold temporarily. First thing I can get my hands on. So that'll work out just fine. Got my axle shaft cleaned up. Real nice and neat. Ooh, and I got brake cleaner all on my leg. Slide this in real slow. There we go. So here's our keyway. I want to get everything cleaned up and back installed, and I'm going to start off with my C-clip here, this locking ring. It's going to go right back there, and I'm just going to push it in just like that. Now I need to get my lock pin back in there. I'm just taking brake cleaner and the rag and just going around it. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get this rotated. Car still in neutral, and being that our opening for our set screw is on the bottom, just going to rotate it and move my gears so it wouldn't get too far out of place. Just keep it lined up. Just enough so I can get it angled. Alright. Go. There we go. It went right in like it was supposed to. pan is glued up. I got a gray RTV sealant. This is a personal preference. I don't like black glue because of its inability to work under certain conditions. Alright, we're gonna let that fall into place. I'm going to add some oil in here now. It's a 3/8 drive extension. Pull that out. It is a magnet on here, so I'll wipe that off. This sounds funny. Golly. Alright, well, I got 2 quarts in there. Got my magnet clean here. I forgot to put the tag on there. So I'm gonna, when I get this in there, I'm gonna pull one of them bolts out and get this ID tag that I forgot to put on there back on there on the housing. Honest mistake. Filming and stuff, and man, just easy to overlook other things. Alright, I'm just gonna get everything back on in reverse order. Here's my rotor. I got everything in the back clean that works with the parking brake, so we got a fresh start. Here's my brake. Simply slide that off, and get the new one on. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video, man. This is all done. Yeah, it didn't take no more than really like an hour and a half. If it definitely would have been done if I didn't have to go back to the parts store. But everything's gonna be everything should be fine here. I'm gonna take it on a test drive, recheck everything, and if anything happens, hell, I'll update. But hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have that reassurance of my work. See you on the next one.